or whether it is Iran, and I think it very possibly could be, they should be shot down. We are not getting the full deal, and the military is on alert with this.
Look, you've given us some pretty dire information just here, and I want to make sure that our viewers are digesting this. Iran has the capability to pull up along our eastern seaboard and launch drones the size of an SUV into the skies of several states.
I wish there was someone that I could consult with to figure out what the little F is going on above the sky in New Jersey. We have a lot of friends in New Jersey. We have a lot of viewers in New Jersey. People have written us like crazy from New Jersey because we spent because of you, obviously, because of the chat, and, you know, big love to the chat. You were screaming about this issue yesterday. So literally on the fly, the great ALX, Danny, Jerry, and Ashley put together just an update about what's going on. And little did we know the Pentagon would weigh in. Also, United States CENTCOM would weigh in. And we are not pleased about what they've told us, because it seems like they're obfuscating once more, trying to deny what's really happening. So here's what we know. And Killer Klein, can you please put up some B-roll of what we've seen in the skies? Here's what we know. We know that there are objects in the sky. We know that these objects are visible with the naked eye. We know that when you zoom in on these objects and you see them, they have no earthly explanation. Some of them seem to literally shapeshift while in the sky, and there are hundreds of them. Where are they going? Where are they from? Isn't it a national security issue, considering the fact that Donald Trump lives in New Jersey half the year, in Bedminster, and he's there all the time? Shouldn't we control the airspace over our president and our Air Force bases and our military bases? Yes. The answer is yes, yes, and yes. Unfortunately, like, we don't live in a serious country because our border's been open, and so we've allowed, you know, that horrible national security event, and now this horrible national security event is occurring. What the F is going on here? I don't know. I don't know. This is a dude filming. Let's make this big, please. This is a dude filming with a telephoto lens. You can see a multicolored orb that seems to be in some stage of flux in the air. What's going on there exactly? I don't know. The Pentagon doesn't seem to know either. Wow, that sucks. A member of Congress, we played you a clip from Fox News yesterday. Member of Congress, Jeff Andrew, who represents the state of New Jersey, he went on Fox News and he said, these are all drones flying from a mothership, and they're being launched by the nation state of Iran. Huh? The Pentagon was asked about that yesterday at a Pentagon briefing. Here we go.
Jen.
Sabrina, can you tell me what the Pentagon is doing to address this issue of drone sightings over New Jersey? It's near sensitive installations. The FBI is involved. What is the Pentagon doing?
Sure. So at this time, aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Can you rule out?
So what is the activity exactly? Hello, Bueller, do you understand? Like, this is, what do you mean? What do you mean? We don't care. Like, what's the activity? You know, the governor of New Jersey said the exact same thing. Everyone's safe. Fine, but that doesn't answer the question. The question is, what the hell are these physical, spiritual, weaponized, ballistic, nuclear, demons, objects above our country? Jesse Waters bringing this to his audience last night, which is the largest audience in all of cable news, so expect this to be mainstreamed. Here we go.
Well, the mysterious drones that have been flying all over New Jersey have caught the attention of the FBI, and they're clueless.
The Bureau is actively investigating the situation you mentioned, just the unexplained sighting of drone activity. We do not attribute that to an individual or a group yet.
Is public safety at risk? Are we concerned that there are nefarious intentions that could cause either national security or a public safety incident that would put Americans at risk?
There's nothing that is known that would lead me to say that. But we just don't know, and that's the concerning part.
So the FBI either lied under oath just there, or they're completely in the dark about our national security. Even the governor of New Jersey admits he has no idea what's going on.
These are apparently very, as I understand it, very sophisticated. The minute you get eyes on them, they go dark. We've got military assets. We've got utility assets. We've got the president-elect's one of his homes here. This is something we're taking deadly seriously. We've got good cooperation out of the feds, but we need more.
Jersey officials say the first sighting was back in the middle of November. And since then, they've gotten hundreds of sightings throughout the state, 180 in just one day. New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew says the drones are Iranian.
So maybe it's time to start asking the question, are our government officials who are in charge of protecting us and who spend the trillions of dollars a year on national defense able to defend us? I mean, if there's ever a time to have answers for the people, it would be like, what the hell are all these floating, blinking things above my house? Seems like the kind of the basics, that and fill in the potholes. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully we can get some answers out of our next guest here. We are honored to be joined by New Jersey Mayor Christine Serrano Glassner. Now, she is the mayor of Mendham, New Jersey, and I'm sure she has great concern for her citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the mayor to our program. Thank you, Mayor, for being on the show. We deeply appreciate your time here. We know that New Jersey is creating quite a few headlines. And I guess the first question would have to be, have you seen the things that people claim to be seeing in the sky above the state of New Jersey?
I have seen them, Benny. I've seen it over my house. I've seen it in my town. I have tried to follow them in my car. And I like to say that we are ground zero here because we're really one of the first towns that started seeing so many of them. I'm told they've been out for a while, longer than the middle of November, but this is when we started seeing them in real force, that you would see, 10 of them flying all together. And they're not small. These are not hobby drones. They tell me that these drones could easily be the size of an SUV with wings, which is part of why, and I tell everybody, because some folks say, you know what, I'm going to shoot them down. Well, not only is it a substantial fine and a lot of time in jail, but you don't want that thing falling on your head. And you certainly don't want it falling on your neighbor's house. The other thing that we learned, because remember, we were in a briefing yesterday with all of the mayors, for the state put it on for us. And what we learned was they do not know if these things are carrying payload, which means some kind of explosive or some kind of chemical warfare. So shooting them down is another really bad idea for that reason alone. We here in Mendham have been really paying attention, but we're ramping that up. What people want is information, and it's exactly what we have not been provided. I've been calling people since the middle of November and saying, we really need answers. And what I said yesterday at this briefing, we can't stop even after these drones go away because they've been over our towns collecting data. They have all sorts of information on us. They know where our reservoirs are. They know where certainly President Trump spends his summers. We know that because that's right down the street. They know where our Picatinny arsenal is. They know where our substations for electric is. They know all of this information. We need to know who has collected it and why they need it or why they want it. And so tonight we're going to have a briefing right here in our own town, and we're going to start our own little task force. We're calling it the Neighborhood Skywatch. It's a throwback to what people used to do back in the 50s, but now we're going to be focused on the skies. And we're going to help our government because clearly, without Donald Trump in the White House, they can't seem to focus on this. And they haven't for weeks now. I think the state of New Jersey has really done the best they can, but we don't have that kind of technology to either take one of these drones down or to really zero in on it and find out who it belongs to. So we have to rely on the federal government. And I know that as soon as Donald Trump takes over the White House, these kind of issues are going to go away. But I know that he also would get to the bottom of this. And that's what we need right now. We need answers.
Mayor, this is bombshell stuff. There's so many questions I have for you, but I suppose we have to start with the first one. Have you physically seen this with your naked eye?
Physically seen it with my naked eye
Yeah.
and tried to follow them. You can tell because they're big. It looks like a drone. It's got the signature lights, and you can hear like a hum or a buzz. What you can't tell is how high up it is. It's really difficult. And out here in New Jersey, we've got a lot of air traffic. So there are some folks that have sent me pictures or videos, and what they're looking at is a plane. These are very distinctive. And
Wow.
you could almost feel it in the air because it's not just an engine. It's more of a buzz. And they're traveling around. If you do lock in on them, which some folks have, they do go dark. The governor said that before. They turn off all their lights and then they zoom away. And they said that yesterday at our briefing that they had New Jersey State Trooper helicopters positioned over one of them. And that's what it did. As soon as it figures out that you've locked in on it, it's gone. So the other thing they told us, these things, uncharacteristically of a drone, they believe they're up in the air for anywhere from 6 to 7 hours. So they could be coming from a very long distance. We know that the Coast Guard is pitching in, and I think there are agencies that are definitely trying to help. They're watching like 130 miles of shoreline out into the waters, the deep waters, and they haven't seen anything returning home. And I've had teams of people telling me that they're going to the military bases late at night to see if they're returning home, and nobody is seeing any of this. So it's very mysterious as to how they're getting here and where they're going when they leave, but we definitely see them when they're here.
I'm just blown away by this, and I don't know exactly what the possible explanation would be, because someone is clearly lying, right? Who's lying exactly? And if these are foreign objects from a rogue nation, or from who knows, like a terror cell, a cluster somewhere, this seems like a horrific national security breach.
Well, I would certainly think so. I mean, the one thing we talk about here and we have for weeks is we would certainly understand if this was our own government and they were doing it for security reasons and they really don't want to provide us with a lot of information. We would get that. We would respect that. They just need to say, hey, it's okay. It's us. We own them. You don't have to worry. But when people kept saying, you know what, you don't have to worry. And I'd say, but what does that mean? We don't have to worry. They even said that yesterday. Well, you don't have to worry because there hasn't been an incident yet. But that doesn't mean that there couldn't be an incident at some point in time, which is why I say don't shoot them down. We don't want to find out the hard way, that they really are dangerous. And, I've got a 5-pointer on why you don't shoot them down. It's gonna cost you personal money. You might damage your neighbor's house, or it falls on your house. Or if it is aliens, you certainly don't want to meet them in person. Right?
Depending. I mean, frankly,
not after you shot their drone.
Well,
down.
yeah. Okay. That takes me very nicely, Mayor, into the next question, which is, since you've physically seen these, and since you hear from your residents, and since you live in sort of the cluster where these objects are clustering, do you believe they're terrestrial? Have you watched them behave in manners that defy physical explanation?
I don't necessarily think they're terrestrial because, so far, folks that know a whole lot more about these drones have said they're more likely military. They look like other drones that they've seen, these exact types of drones. So could it be? It could be anything, really. It could be anything. And until somebody tells us and somebody really gets one of these units and takes a look at them, right? I think that's what it's going to take. Either you see where it's come from or where it's gone home to, or you actually physically get one. I just don't think we're going to know otherwise.
Mayor, somebody must be lying, and I guess the question is who? Clearly, the government has very sophisticated capacities to track foreign objects in our skies. Somebody knows where these are coming from. Do you have an indication that your governor knows, or that the Pentagon knows, or that any federal official knows?
I think the biggest mistake is we've been asking for help and asking for answers for weeks, and we just weren't taken seriously. And I think that that's the biggest problem. We wasted a whole lot of precious time And now everybody is on this. I don't know that the state of New Jersey, I think that they're trying really hard. I do. It was a great briefing yesterday, and they were candid about the fact that they just couldn't provide us any information. But being there in person and being willing to take the heat, I had a lot of respect for them. I don't think that we at the state level have the technology. I think at the military level, at the federal level, they have the technology. They have the technology to take one of these drones down, to disable it. Remember, these drones can fly below the radar. So they're not necessarily picked up by radar easily. They're separate drone radar, I learned yesterday, but that's not even completely reliable. So I just don't know if the technology is completely caught up around the country with, what it is that's in our skies right now. I don't know if it has across the board.
Mayor, what you've said on this program is unbelievably alarming. And of course, we've covered multiple assassination attempts of the president. He lives down the road, as you said, and brings a great deal of aplomb to New Jersey. He loves Bedminster. You're saying that these drones are large enough to be carrying weaponized payloads, and they're flying freely over the president's house. Wow.
So there's a restriction over Bedminster now, over that golf course. Air restrictions have been put in place. I think over some of the military areas, air restrictions have been put in place. Presumably they have the right kind of radar where they can make sure, right, that these things aren't flying over there anymore. I would imagine, that because Secret Service is on top of that Bedminster facility, that property, I would imagine they've got their binoculars out and they're looking every night.
Incredible. If you, given what you know and what you can tell the audience, what would you suspect that they are? Because we did hear Jeff Van Drew yesterday making huge headlines saying they're from a mothership from Iran. Some people have speculated that they're American military tech. What would you suspect, since you've actually seen one? And since
my hope, and I'm not even going to suspect. I think going out and saying, "Oh, they're definitely from Iran," I think that puts a lot of fear into people, and that's the last thing we want is people panicking. And so I am not going to say that until somebody absolutely knows that that's the case. To go on a hunch and tell people that, I think, is irresponsible. I don't know who they belong to. I know that it's somebody that's very sophisticated and has a lot of money, because these things could not possibly be inexpensive. And I don't know how many there are, but over our skies, there's been, 10, 12 of these at any one given time. It's an organized operation. So I would think it'd be some form of military, whether it's ours or somebody else's.
Wow. So so it's clearly coordinated. You can see it. I mean, you can see the clusters and you can see the flying nonstop. Hopefully they put an end to it. We know that Team Trump often watches the program, and we're dear friends with Pete Hegseth, who'd be in charge of looking at protecting our country. What's your message to the incoming administration about this?
Well, listen, we know that if President Trump was in the White House, this would not be happening. And if this was happening in January, he would be on top of this with decisive action. And we know that about the president. All of this, chatter of, well, we don't know, we're not sure, that would not be coming out of any department. They would stop everything because he would dictate it. And he would say, we're going to get to the bottom of this now. He's not somebody who pussyfoots around. And that's what we need in this country right now. Yes. We need strong leadership like President Trump, and he's coming, but we'd like it to be sooner for the sake of these drones in our neighborhoods.
Mayor, I got to tell you, I don't know much about New Jersey politics, but I do know that the governor won by just a whisker in the last cycle. We really hope that you maybe consider throwing your hat in and coming back on the program, since you've been so forthcoming and honest with us. We sure would like some of that in politics. And so,
I would too. I ran for the U.S. Senate. Didn't turn out the way I liked. I ran on a position of integrity, and I'm just going to continue to keep working for New Jersey and try to bring that to New Jersey. New Jersey, President Trump did extremely well here, extremely well. And we think that it's because people are ready for a change. They really are. They're ready for a better economy, and we need to see that here in New Jersey.
And here is the profile on X that you must follow for a great Mayor Glassner. And man, I got to tell you, we see what Scott Pressler is planning on doing in New Jersey, registering voters. They said it couldn't be done in Pennsylvania, and lo and behold, and then now he's heading to New Jersey. You think New Jersey is going to be a red state?
I think we're going to give them a very good run for their money. I'm working on the same thing. I'm working in a lot of minority communities because they feel they are not represented by the Democrats. And so we're going to give them a good run for their money. We're going to make sure that people know exactly who supports them and who wants to see them have better lives and plan for their futures. And that's the Republicans.
Mayor, just a free thought here, okay? Free thought. You don't have to use it, all right? I don't want to embarrass myself or anything, but I do it every day in front of the audience. So free thought. You could run for governor on a campaign slogan that says, I'm against illegal aliens in New Jersey from the sky or from, the southern border. You could do both. You could say, I'm against all illegal aliens, and it could be huge. It could be huge for you.
I like it, Benny. I like it. I think it's a good platform.
Okay. Just a thought. Free from the Benny Show. Thank you, Mayor. Please come back regularly and brief us on this. The audience really cares.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day.
Godspeed.